Welcome to this HelloID webinar brought to you by Tools Forever. Today we'd like to give you an overview of the new functionality in HelloID. We encourage you to ask questions. You can do this via the WebEx chat option. You can find the option here. At the end of the demonstration, your questions will be answered. I'd like to turn this over to Tjeerd Seinen, HelloID Product Manager. He will explain and demonstrate the new HelloID functionality. Enjoy, and don't forget to post the questions.
Jamie, thank you for the introduction. Hello everybody, welcome again to this update webinar for, again, release 2018 version 10. This is the version we released last Sunday, and I'd like to give you an update on what the functionality we have released. Also have an outlook for the next release, the 11, the November release, and of course I have room for answering questions. Okay, so first a PowerPoint presentation, and I'd like to show you the new software. Okay, let's go. So the contents for this webinar is I'm going to explain the retry task. Let me turn on the PowerPoint pointer here. So I'd like to go through the retry task and user profile card, a little extension. The major part of this release is the retry tasks. And of course, as I already said, I want to give up a heads up for the coming release, the November release, the 11 release. So first I'd like to go through the new functionality. The retry, and I showed this diagram before. This is the provisioning mechanism when a change occurs in HR. It's going to be implemented or detected into the vault. It will generate an event. Created, updated or deleted, and then you have the fine-grained event that was handled or covered the last webinar and in videos, so you can create a specific detailed event. So instead of firing off all tasks, it will be based on the criteria in the vault. So you can say 10 days before onboarding I'd like to send an email to the manager, etc., etc. So suppose at the day of onboarding an error occurs. So one of the tasks here fails. Then you can see that on the event itself. I will show you in the software how that looks like. And you can actually see which of the tasks has been failed. I can review the log files. So I can actually find out what the cause of the issue was. Perhaps something is wrong in the network. I can also see the input variables, so I can see what input variables have been inputted to run the task, so that helps me even further to find the problem. It's good to know that you cannot change the input variables. If you want to change the input variables, you have to change that most likely in the HR system, and you have to rerun the whole task again, including this subtask. So you're not able to change the input variables. But if you have corrected the issue in the network, then you can rerun the task or retry the task basically. And then of course, if you have resolved the cause of the issue, then the task will be successful. Okay, so let me show you how this is in the software. I will demo the software. So let me get out of this PowerPoint presentation. So here I'm logged in as an admin. I go to automation, events. That was already there. It was already there as well. Here, this is new. So now I can see a lot of tasks went okay, but one went wrong. And if I click on this icon set, I can see actually what has failed. And then this update failed, and I can click here for the open details, and then I can actually see what of these tasks failed. And here the top desk update failed. This was successful, but this one failed. And here I can see in the process log what actually went wrong. So I can jump into the task, go to the log file, and I can see here that multiple persons were found. I can also see it here, but if I want to have more detailed information, I can go to the input variables, and this is the details that has been sent to execute the tasks. So I can find detailed information about what was causing the issue. So there is a duplicate person in top desk, so I can jump to top desk and look up the doubles, and I have, let me close this. I have two mic set. So I will remove one of them. So let me remove this one. I think I can do this here. Delete. So now the cause of the issue has been resolved. So I only have one mic left. So I can go here. And now I can retry the task. I can also mark this as succeeded, but I want to retry the task. That's of course the whole basic new functionality in HelloID. So now it's retrying, and you will see that it's going to be in progress. So let me refresh this, and now it's successful. So I can actually look at the details, and here successfully. And I can also see that it has been retried by the administrator. Okay, so this is basically the retry mechanism. So now I can see that everything is green here, so there are no red flags anymore. Okay, the other functionality, that's very simple. That's the user information to help the managers. I'm logged in as a manager, and if I click here on Open Details, I can see, for example, here the details of Mr. Sein. So I can easily contact them here. I can see what email address, department, etc. available is for the user. And of course, this is configurable. You can turn this on and off. Okay, so let me go back to the PowerPoint presentation. So I already covered the retry task and the user profile card, and now I'd like to give a heads up on the coming release 2018-11. That's the November release, and I already covered that the last time, bits and pieces, but I did that with screenshots. Today I will give a live demo based in our demo environment, and that's going to be part of the service automation. And that's the dynamic forms. So with that new version, so you only have to wait for another month, we will release the forms, the first version of the forms builder. Okay, so let me show you how that looks like. I will show it in the demo environment. So I will jump to demo environment here. So it's still a bit rough, but we have another month to make it completely work. So in the self-service you have the dynamic forms. That is new, and here you can make a definition of multiple forms. And I already defined two, and you can edit and create new ones. So I create a new one, create AD user. I can here have a preview, so I can easily see what that form looks like. I can also see it for this form. It looks a little bit different. And I can make modifications to it. So it's the name of the form, and here I have the last name, first name. I can shift the fields around, so I can change the sequence. I can also delete fields from the form. And here I have the different input elements you can add to the form. So suppose I also want to remove this one, so no email field. First name, last name, and here I can say, well, I like another input, and that's, for example, this field. For the coming weeks, we will add more input fields like a combo select or a radio button. So those are still to be added later on this month. So they will be included in the version 11. Okay, so let me show you how this works. So let's suppose I want to change this to the company name. So I can do edit, and I can say I want to have this for company name. Here I can say fill in company name. I can also give a default value, of course, tools forever. And here I have other options. I can do validation. I can say I want to specify minimum length, perhaps even a maximum length. I can say I want to do everything. This is regular expression, so I can say I want to have everything in capitals. Then of course this needs to be capitals as well, otherwise it won't fit. And I can also have more detail, so I can say must be capitals. Okay, I have more options, but I will explain that in the next version. We will have to have everything released. There will be a longer, of course, video and webinar to explain all the functionality that is available in this forms. Okay, I can have here the option I can switch to the editor. I think I already showed you some screenshots about that. Here is the live version of the field, so I can actually try to fill in. Oh, I have the same test here, so I can say cheered, seinen, so this is to fill in the name. I think I have the same thing here. If I leave that field, must be capitals. Tools ever. And I can click here on submit, and then you can also see that these are the variables that are going to be passed. So this is the more logical name, this is a cryptical name. So I can actually change that. Let me do that here. So this is this name. So this is the last name. And this is company name. We're probably going to change this, but for now I have to give it a more logical name. Switch to the editor. There we go. So here I can see that I filled in cheered, sign and tools. That's this information. This is an important thing I cannot show you yet, but I can connect this to task actions. So I can pass this information to a task action. So let me save this first. And so I modified this form. I can go to a product. Let me open a new tab. And I have a new, so this is basically the same structure as you already know with the products. But this is new, so I can actually use a workflow. It loads a little bit longer, so I have to wait a little bit. So I can actually include a workflow, but here's the form. So I can make a choice between multiple forms. I had two forms, so I can say, I want to use this form. So instead of that a product is being showed, as you're already familiar with the HelloID structure, now the form is being showed. And if I submit the form, then these workflow will be followed and then the actions will be executed. I cannot show you this yet because it's not finished yet, but then you can actually fill in the form and then these actions will be executed, but it also will follow the workflow. So let me show you how this all works. So let me save this. And I need to go here. So I'm still the administrator, self-service products. And now I can open this product. And instead of requesting the product, as you probably already know, I open up the form. And this is exactly the same form I just designed as the administrator in the backend portal, and I can here fill in the name. Let me do this without the capitals. It's the same functionality I just showed you in the designer. Fill in my name. Perhaps if so it must be capitals, no figures. So let's do something like this. And now I can show the request summary. I can perhaps add a comment. I need this account. And now it will be forwarded as a request. The same functionality forwarded into the workflow. So I have to wait until this is being processed, and I will show you that as administrator, because I have a workflow that I have set myself as the approver. So now I can request the creation of the new account. So now it has been processed, and here I can see that I can approve or deny. And I think I can also have an inbox. Here, same thing. This is the detail of the information I've been filled in as a user, and I can approve and deny. The same functionality you're already familiar with. Okay, so that is the software I'd like to show you. The next time I'd like to show you everything, because then it will be released for production, and then I can also execute tasks so that you can execute and really create the account in the in Azure in this particular example. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. Are there any questions? Jamie, can you ask the questions for me? Thank you.
Cheered. Our first question, why have you implemented the hover over cards?
So why we have implemented the hover over card. So if I'm a manager, I can hover over the picture or over the person in my department, and I can see who it is. I get more detailed information. Well, it was more as a small change, and we got that request for a customer that had more than 100 people in his department, and he did not know exactly who was who. So he requested for this little change, and we implemented that just in between two of the bigger releases. Next question, Jamie.
Is the retry mechanism also available for self-service tasks?
Yes, the retry tasks are available for any task. I just showed you that in the event provisioning section of the admin portal, but you can also go to the task history, and then you can see failed task, and you can actually retry all the tasks coming from events, from the provisioning, or from the self-service section. So yes, that is possible.
Let's see here, Cheered. Will it be possible to have combo select boxes on database queries?
Yes, the retry tasks are available for any task. I just showed you that in the event provisioning section of the admin portal, but you can also go to the task history, and then you can see failed task, and you can actually retry all the tasks coming from events, from the provisioning, or from the self-service section. So yes, that is possible.
Will it be possible to pre-populate the fields in a form?
No, it is not possible yet in this release to pre-populate the forms. That is also available in the next release. So then you probably can run a task, collect information from any source, and the output of the task will pre-populate the form. But that's going to be later on, Q1, perhaps even later, Q2. Okay, thank you all. Jamie, I think these are all the questions. People, thank you for your attention, and hopefully I can welcome you again next webinar, and that's going to be a month from today. Okay, thank you, and have a very nice day. Bye-bye.